Masks, vaccine mandates, in-person instruction, all part of a new normal as roughly 500,000 students in the California State University system begin the fall semester. Cal State Northridge opened today. Cal State San Diego, Cal State Fullerton, Channel Islands, and Cal State Los Angeles began the semester last week.
Of course, a new semester can be tougher to tackle in many ways because of the pandemic. KCAL 9's Serene Branson shows us what Cal State campuses are doing to address mental health.
At Cal State campuses throughout California, the hustle and bustle is back. On sidewalks and vaccine pop-ups, there's energy in the air.
Let's talk about Cal State because I love Cal State.
I love it. I mean, seeing the students back on the walkway, interacting with one another is just terrific.
Bill Coveno is president of Cal State Los Angeles.
So most of your classes in person or online?
18 months ago,
when COVID drove us away from campus, we had to, within 4 days, convert all of our in-person courses to online courses.
And now?
Essentially a reverse to normalcy, I think, when people were studying in their classrooms.
The challenge most definitely remains being safe.
Lamai Glenn is a senior majoring in sociology. Like many Cal State LA students, he's the first in his family to go to college. He also has a full-time job and supports a family.
What I'm trying to accomplish here at Cal State LA, get my bachelor's degree and eventually enroll into grad school.
The reminders of COVID precautions are everywhere, and Lamai is glad of that. There's an emotional toll that can go with that.
We encounter people in this new norm of just seeing their eyes because their face is covered. And behind that mask and behind those eyes, we really just don't have no idea what people are experiencing.
President Coveno says the university gets it and has been ramping up the mental health response. At the Student Health Center, psychological services have been expanded. Also,
we've now certified nearly 1,000 members of the campus community in mental health first aid.
Professors and administrators are also taking a more active role, participating in something called Wellbeing Wednesdays.
We get our campus leadership out on the walkway to meet and greet students. We just ask them how they're doing. We find it is so often the case that someone who is struggling with anything really wants someone to just ask them how they're doing.
Lamai would like to see the university community take it even further, especially with the threat of COVID still lingering.
Families have been affected, and so the hope is that people be compassionate, that they'll be understanding of that, and they'll come from a place of empathy and also meet students where they are.
All right, joining us now with more on mental health challenges and resources for college students are Angie Cordero, a sophomore at Cal State Channel Islands, Davida Nicole Feldman, a junior also at Cal State Channel Islands, and psychologist Brandon Gamble from San Diego State University.
Thank you so much all for joining us.
Great to be with you.
Davida, we'll start with you. I understand you were actually really happy to hear that we're discussing mental health in college students. First of all, why is that? And secondly, what do you feel is stressing you out right now?
I think it's very important because mental health in college students is very vital. A lot of us are struggling, even before COVID, a lot of us had anxiety, about are we going to make it to class in time? Did we do that assignment? Did we miss that Zoom call? A lot of us were struggling prior to COVID, and then COVID hit and everybody's world turned upside down. And a lot of us were struggling with adjustment. And now that we're back, we feel like we're not just worrying about those classes and the assignments that we're missing or failing a class. We're also worrying about if we're going to get sick, or if somebody in our family is going to get sick, or God forbid somebody, one of us dying. And that's a real struggle nowadays, and I'm just glad that we're being taught about it.
Sure.
Yeah, so much more to juggle for sure. Angie, now to you, how is the in-person experience comparing to last year's online instruction?
I personally love being on campus. It was my first time stepping foot on
campus because I'm a sophomore at CSUCI. So the whole online wasn't really the best thing for me. It was very hard. It was a challenge, but now seeing everyone back on campus, interacting with one another, it's amazing and I love it.
Yeah. Well, we'll go over to you, Mr. Gamble. What are your thoughts on what Davida and Angie have expressed as you listen to them and talk about their stresses and what their struggles are?
I can definitely empathize as a parent, as a second-generation CSU grad. My parents went to Cal State LA. I also went to San Diego State. So I'm just thinking about the energy that you have when you come back to school and you're excited, but then you're also worried and that tension and that fear about classes. But really, I've been excited to watch our sophomores, or what I call the freshman 2.0, in that they never had a chance to really come on campus. Now they're getting the chance to really learn and connect with other people. They're just excited to see people in a way that they had hoped. Like, a lot of their dreams were kind of put off. There's a lot of loss there. So the opportunity for them to interact with each other is extremely important. But we want to make sure they're safe, right? They're our future. So the CSU is always about opportunity and moving forward, especially for first-generation college students like my parents were. And we want everyone to be able to be safe, but also know where to get the resources. And I think that's the CSU's biggest challenge. Parents and students should know the local campus, and even nearby resources, but definitely even virtual mental health services. And I think this is one opportunity that's come out of the pandemic, is that we do have virtual mental health services available at many of our campuses, but many other insurance providers are working with people virtually. So that's an exciting opportunity for young people to get that mental health. We know that 1 out of 3 young people generally suffers from some type of depressive episode during their first year in college, or their second year in college. So we want to make sure that we're getting them the help, but also building that community as well. And we're getting better at it as we go along, whether students are taking classes online or in person, but we really want to continue to provide them the mental health services that they need.
Dr. Gamble, you brought up the word generations. What are some of the challenges unique to first-generation college students?
Well, I think it's the information, right? Accessing information. If your parents win, or your brother or your sister win, they're able to tell you, okay, you got to look out for, this point of the year when you have to register, or go over here because this advisor, this counselor will help get you into the right classes, but also may be able to help you get to the right mental health services. So it's really being in the know and finding that connection. And what I really like is that many of our CSUs have cultural centers. So if people feel somewhat intimidated about friends, they can make those connections at those cultural centers, whether they're religious or cultural or, LGBTQ. They're able to make those connections in a little easier manner, a more comfortable manner, but make them nonetheless so they don't feel so isolated.
I see. All right. Brandon, Davida, and Angie, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, and good luck to you in the new school year. Very exciting.
Best of luck.
Thank you.